Hi guys, welcome back to the Financial Interest YouTube channel. My name's Dan. So I seem to have been picking up a few new subscribers recently, so that's great. So thanks to everyone who subscribed in the last few months and obviously before that in supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, and it helps to try and build a community that I'm trying to do here. So recently I've had a few people ask me about the paid course I did with Real One, because they're people who've also attended the workshop. So as you might know previously, I've done a video on the free Real One workshop, which I kind of reviewed my experience of doing that, and that was the in-person event in Atlanta. And following on from that, I actually did the paid course. So I wanted to actually just review that, because that's kind of answering a few questions that people have posed to me in the last few weeks. And I'll just say as well that I'm not affiliated in any way with Real One Investing. Obviously, I've done the course and I really like the way that Phil Town kind of explains investing, and that's really how I got into this whole thing in the first place. But I just wanted you to know that this is just my personal opinion and review from the course which I did. So let's get on with the video. So after attending the workshop in Atlanta, what they do is they ask you if you're interested in receiving any further information about doing one of the paid courses. So what I did was I said, yeah, I'm interested. So after like maybe a couple of weeks after I'd finished the workshop, one of their people contacted me just to kind of see if I was interested in doing one of the further courses. So because I mentioned on the course I was happy to look into that. So I think I had maybe 2 or 3 consultation calls, and it's just trying to see if you really want to do the course and if they think you're suitable for the course as well. They ask you to fill out a questionnaire which kind of goes over your experience with investing alongside kind of financial goals and things like that. They're just trying to assess like how suitable you are for the course really. But of course, like, it was something I wanted to do, so I submitted all of that, and this was probably around a month in the end after I'd completed the free workshop. So then I decided to sign up for the Transformational investing course, and that was the 6-month course. So I actually began that in September 2019. So I just wanted to go over the costs of that course. So the course I did was the 6-month course. And to do that, I paid $6,000 US. There was a 12-month course, which would have been $9,000, but really at that point I wasn't in a financial position to do it. So I kind of like reviewed my finances and then just looked at it and actually like signed up for the course, paid for the course on credit card, and then just basically with my local bank in the UAE, I converted that into monthly installments and just paid it over a period of 6 months. And that was actually an investment I was happy to make, because it's an investment in myself to kind of learn more. And I believe that money was, going to help me earn a lot more money in the future. So I was happy to pay that. So now I'll just briefly touch on the format of the course. So once I signed up for it, I had like a kind of interview just to kind of go over, what would be covered in the course. And then what happens is they assign you a tutor for the course. So my tutor was Francis, and we had a call before the course started just to kind of go over the details of what's going to be covered in the course and everything like that. So the course is kind of split into 2 sections. You have the first section, which is actually when you're doing the classes. So you have 13 weeks of classes where you cover various different topics over that, and that's like a class every week. And those classes are around an hour and a half to 2 hours from memory, and that would be done over WebEx. So it would be Francis would actually do the presentation, and then you can kind of communicate with them over the chat function. So this was kind of evening US time. So for me, living in Abu Dhabi, that was around 3 or 4 in the morning. But I actually made the effort every week to get up at that time, because I wanted to attend that in person, so to speak, so I can actually like ask questions during the course. And I think that was really valuable as well. But of course they keep all the content, so you can kind of, if you can't make the class, you can watch it back later. And then also in that first 13 weeks you get like called a faculty office hours. So this is where you get a chance to ask any questions on the on the stuff that you've covered so far in the course. So you just, if there's something you're not sure about, you submit a question, and then in the faculty office hours session, they just cover all of the questions that the students have asked. I think I was in a class of maybe around 20 people when I did the course. So you would submit your questions, and then he would just go over the answers to all of those. And then each week they would also set kind of like a homework task, so something you could work on during the week. An example of this would be they covered an options credit spread. So one of the tasks was you needed to go back and back test this in the Think or Swim paper trading. So that was like a task, an example task from one of the weeks. So now let's go and take a look at some of the subjects we covered during the 13 different actual webinars. So you'll see quite a few things you might already be familiar with if you follow Phil Town. So one of the areas we covered is the 4 M's, so the meaning, moat, management and margin of safety. Also we covered the different valuations. So obviously with Phil Town he's got the what he calls the margin of safety price, which is like the discounted cash flow, and then he has his 10 cap price and also his payback time price. And then they also cover inversions and rebuttals, events, risk management, capital allocation. They go over the financial statements, how you can do portfolio management, and also look at calculating future growth rates. And then there's quite an extensive section to do with options. So you look at the basics of options, mainly going into selling puts and calls, technical analysis, and also go into some options system trades as well. So after the 13 weeks of workshops you do, you're then placed into kind of another group. And for this, I was actually in a group with some different people from the student side, and also this was held by Jeff Town, who's Phil's brother. And this was kind of another Ask Me Anything sort of session where you could ask any questions about things you're not sure of over what you've learned in the past 13 weeks. And this is another thing which lasts for another kind of 12 weeks, so sort of 3 months in total. And this is what brings you up to your 6 months of the course. And I should also say that once you obviously sign up for the paid workshop, they give you the access to the Rule 1 toolbox throughout your course, which is normally $30 a month. And then, well, in my case, I was already subscribed to it, so they just suspended my subscription fees for that 6 month period of time. And then once that ended, then I started paying the subscription again. And all the material is kept live on their site for a few months after. So, I mean, you can download obviously all the PDFs of the webinars with the slides, but the actual live recordings, they only stay there for a few months after you've completed the course. So you need to kind of try and watch those back as many times as you can to get the full information, even though you do have the slides to fall back on. So let's now look at my verdict of the course. So I really enjoyed the course. It gave a lot of information. Like I think I mentioned in my previous video with the workshop, that actually they pack so much information into a short amount of time that it's really difficult to kind of pick it all up. But in this, you kind of have 12 weeks of covering everything that you covered briefly in the 3 days of the workshop. I think everyone who follows Phil and obviously the Rule 1 kind of movement kind of understands like a lot about the way he sort of works with the 4 M's and the kind of his valuation methods. And to be honest, if you watch all of his videos, listen to the podcast and have read the books, you're not really going to learn a lot more about that kind of long-term investing approach. You will already know a lot about that just from following on YouTube or the podcast and reading the books. But the area where it really this course was valuable to me is what I learned about kind of the options side of things. Because you really won't see him talking about this in any of his videos or the books. He might briefly mention it, but it won't actually go into any detail. And I would probably say for me, just the options part on its own was probably worth the money. But you obviously need to think about how much the course is versus like your kind of obviously current financial situation. Because I don't think you should like really, overstretch yourself to actually do the course. I mean, I got a lot of value out of it, but that's because it wasn't really a financial problem for me to do the course in the first place. So always consider your personal financial situation before you kind of commit to something like that. So I really can't say anything bad about the course. I really enjoyed it. The tutors were really good, you know, like really helpful actually. And then with your tutors, you also get like kind of 3 one-on-one sessions, which each last 45 minutes. So throughout the period of your course, you can really like drill down into anything you're not certain of during that time. And you will actually have the one-on-one time with your course tutor as well. And that's one of the things that's also really helpful. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a like, and also consider subscribing to the channel as well if you haven't already. I really appreciate everyone who's kind of been watching recently, because I'm kind of seeing my numbers sort of, my viewing figures kind of growing up slowly. So it's really great to have everyone involved. And please let us know any comments you have on the video, any other videos you're interested in seeing as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.